Welcome to Mentality Unchained. I'm your host, Kevin Thomas.
And Jalil.
It's good to be back in the house, talk about mental health and the community. This is a special week. Actually, it's a special month. This is Mental Health Month, and it's the time that we acknowledge, mental health. I think just like back Black History, we shouldn't have just one month for mental health and to acknowledge mental health. Same way with Black History, I think we should be honoring Black History every month, every day. So it's the same thing with mental health. But I would just like to give a shout out to all the clinicians, everyone that work in mental health to make it what it is. I know our work and jobs are pretty stressful, but it's only made for the ones that love people and love helping people. So I just want to give them a shout out. Also, this is Mother's Day weekend. Mother's Day weekend. It is special. So if you have a mother still living, a grandmother that's still living, make sure that you recognize them and give them their props. And that's why I wanted to do this episode, Mother's Day, with our guest today. Not only is she a mother, but she also dons the cloth of mental health and nursing. So we will introduce her as we get started with our episode today. So again, thank you guys for joining us. So Cora, we're gonna let Cora Threadgill introduce herself, and we'll get right on into the topics. And Jalil and I are far away, and hopefully we have a good episode. So Cora.
Hi, I'm Cora Threadgill. I've been a nurse for about 30, ooh, 38 years. Um, and I've been in mental health probably for the last 15. So this is near and dear to me in health disparities among African Americans. So working with Kevin in the past has built a professional relationship that we bounce a lot of ideas off of each other, and we're just trying to make our surrounding areas better one step at a time.
Oh, thank you, Cora, for your introduction. I will say this because I think I need to put a disclaimer out, Jaleel, because the last couple episodes I didn't say it, and people kind of take the show for therapy, and I just want to let everyone know that this show is not taking the place of therapy. I would recommend that you go out and you find your own therapist. Although I am a licensed therapist, this is not a personal and confidential session. So I say that you go out and search for your own therapist.
Wait, are people trying to get a session in? People like listening, taking this as a therapy?
Yeah, absolutely. People is like, hey, man, I don't even need to go to therapy. I just need to just kind of listen to the show. But
No, this
no,
ain't it.
this ain't it. So I want to make sure that I let everybody know that this is for us a platform for us to educate and then also cause attention to mental health and especially in the Black community. So that's the disclaimer. So don't be calling me saying hey or calling the therapist authority and say hey he said do this and do that. So but no, let's get into what we're here to do. We're here to talk about mental health and talking about it from a mother's perspective, also a clinical professional. Cora, you are a licensed nurse, right?
Correct. I'm a registered nurse.
Okay. So you're a registered nurse. And I met Cora, just a little background. I met Cora working in a residential facility where we house 68 girls, and we did therapy, we did in-house physicals, we did psychiatric work, we did all those things. And from day one, when Cora and I kind of met, we've been locked at the hip. So she's really been very important and instrumental in my life. And so I wanted to really talk to her from a mother's standpoint and when it comes to mental health. So, and at any time, Jay, you can jump in because I know you probably got some questions as well. But one of the things that I wanted to ask you, Cora, is like, as a nurse, how did you get into mental health?
I guess growing up, everybody was sick around me. And so we had to learn like what the sickness was. Was it, you would hear the phrase, oh, they just crazy. Like, well, what's crazy? So I had to look at what crazy was, because I think that's why I use the philosophy now. Everybody is crazy. They just not diagnosed.
Gotcha.
So I always had to help. So that was the trigger. And it's like, where can I make a difference at? And so that's what I'm striving to do every day. Even my age, I'm still trying to say, can I make a difference in this mental health arena? Because it is such a disparity out there right now for African Americans and other people of color.
Gotcha. What I mean, have you, I know we've talked on several occasions about disparities in
Right.
in the Black community, and we talked about, even as a Black woman, some of the things that you had to face when it comes to addressing the mental health aspect. See, we BET live, right? We do it how we want to do it, right?
Nobody calls the house phone until now.
Until now, right? That's how it always work out.
I'm sorry. Like, nobody ever calls the house phone until now. It's like, what?
That's how we know this is real. See, this is how we do, right?
So I'm gonna hope that they don't call no more.
Gotcha. But yeah, speaking of the disparities, I know as a Black woman, some of the disparities you've seen in the past, and I know you spoke on a couple occasions about you being a pregnant mother and how you had to deal with disparities, when it comes to hospitals and being a person of color and a nurse. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Being a teenage mom, one of the things that I had to go through was they had different standards. If it was like you had the three things. It was fat, Black, and ignorant.
Wow.
So it wasn't that I was ignorant by any means, even at teenage level, but I was overweight, I was Black, and see how they would treat me was, oh, well, she's just Black, she's going to continue to have babies. That's not that wasn't it. But see, oh, well, see the white counterparts that were same age as I was, young, got a little different. They didn't have that negative connotation, like, oh, she's gonna do that. Oh, she can make something out of herself. And it's like, well, what's the difference? What is the difference? I wasn't trying to do A, B, and C, become a mother of 10 by 20.
Right.
I wasn't trying to do that. I'm sure that this other lady that was Caucasian was not trying to do that either, but it was just the stigma. Oh, they go to the health department for their care. We didn't have Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Right.
So it was those things that I had to learn to make a difference in. And I think that's really it, Kevin. And then as I got older and became that nurse, I worked with some of those people that made the comments to me as I was a teenager.
Wow.
And it's like, well, they're this, they're that. And it's like, you can get up out of my room and you don't ever have to come back.
Right.
I will report what you said, because then I was an equal. So it's like, it's a double standard, but I was strong enough to like go through it and say, you know what? You don't determine who I am.
Right.
Or what I do in my life, because you don't have that power over me. And it really, once you brought it back up to him, like, hey, you know what? When I came in here 9 years ago and had a child, this is what you said to me.
Wow.
This is, so that's, I think that's probably why I'm the way I am, aggressive in a sense, but assertive. Just because it's like, I can't tell you how I really feel,
Right.
then it's a wash. It's a waste of my time and yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
Wow.
had
So,
so you had a baby while you were a teenager,
yes,
and then what age did you become a nurse?
I became, let's see, now you want to make me think. Um,
I just want to commend you. Like, go ahead,
about
Miss Cora.
20, I was about 21, I became an LPN.
Mhm.
And then I went back to school, became an RN, and I was probably about 23.
So for
And-
people that don't know, what's a LPN?
A licensed practical nurse. And then I got my RN, and then I got my master's degree when I was 51.
Wow. Wow.
So I think education is really important, especially it's nice to see somebody that looks like you
Yes, it is.
in your care.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's just me. And I'm always pro education. And I try to do the best that I can.
Mhm.
And I have to look and see, where's this road leading me to?
Gotcha.